Hi guys, my name is Naomi Bourland, and I'm a sophomore at DMAC. And this is the story of how God changed my life. But before I start, I'm going to pray, so please bow your heads and pray with me. Dear God, thank you so much for bringing us all here today. We are here because of you, and you only. And I just thank you for the work you've done in my life and the lives of many people here. God, I ask that you would speak through me and that whatever happens tonight would be according to your will and for your glory, God. And I ask that I would not seek to get anything from this, but that the glory would all go to you, God. And I pray that you would just calm my nerves and just help me to speak clearly and for your glory. And I will just lift this all up in your name. Amen. I grew up the youngest of 7 and in the church with parents who loved and feared the Lord. I grew up wanting to be like my older siblings. I heard the gospel growing up many times, but if you had asked me why I should go to heaven, I would have told you that I knew all the answers in Sunday school and my dad was a pastor. I was a people pleaser and very proud growing up. I didn't see my need to be saved, but I was trying to earn my way to heaven. When I was 10, I went to a conference that our church put on and remember one of the pastors saying, "Just because you say you are a Christian doesn't mean you are." I heard that and I knew that I was not a Christian. So I set out to do it in my own strength and do all the right things so God would love me. Around the same time, I had a conversation with somebody in my extended family in which they told me I was not worthy of their love and I would never be good enough. This wrecked my world and opened my mind and heart to lies from the devil. I believed this person and slowly over time began to believe that nobody loved me, including my family and God. This led me to struggle with depression. Growing up, I heard that God was good and had a plan for everything. As I was struggling, I questioned how God could be good and make things so hard at the same time. This question plus more questions caused me to doubt God's character. I still went to church and youth group and tried to continue to earn my salvation through earning God's love and other people's love. I remember praying one night after youth group, asking God to make things better or I would live how I wanted to. Circumstances didn't change, but I felt I had the strength to fight the lies in my head. Over time, God slowly showed me that he alone made me worthy through the death of Jesus on the cross. The creator of the world sent his own son to die for me, though I did nothing to deserve it and sinned against him my whole life. I did nothing to deserve God's love and grace, but he offers it fully paid for by his son. I'm not sure when exactly I got saved, but I know that I've done nothing to deserve God's love. I am guilty of death and unworthy to be loved by anyone, especially God, but he loves me despite myself and made the way for me to come to him through the forgiveness that comes through the sacrifice done on the cross, which I experienced through faith alone. Ephesians 2:8-9 says, For by grace you have been saved through faith. It is not your own doing, it is a gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast. Throughout high school, God continually reminded me of the gospel and how he alone was worthy of my everything. In high school, I continued to struggle and believe the lies from the devil, which caused me to try to find my worth in people and accomplishments. God took everything away that I was trying to find my worth in and showed me again and again that he alone loved me the way that I needed to be loved and that he saved me not because I deserved it. He continually reminded me that I could not make myself worthy or add to my salvation. The gospel and what it meant to me became more and more real to me over time. Though the gospel continues to grow sweeter as time goes on, following God does not mean that I have never struggled or everything has gone perfectly. In June of 2020, I got rear-ended, and due to many different things, I took the full force of the airbag to the left side of my face, and that caused a detached retina. I could not see out of my left eye at all after the accident. I was able to get surgery on it 43 hours after getting hurt, and another surgery about a month later. It was never communicated to me if there would be vision return. I had a doctor's appointment and told my eyesight was never coming back in that eye. I could not see anything out of that eye except for really blurry shapes, and this has caused a distortion that I see all the time and has messed up my depth perception. I struggled to trust that God had a plan for this and would use it for good. I questioned why the other 5 people involved in the accident could walk away, and I suffered a permanent injury. God used this to grow me and trust in him. Isaiah 43:2 says, When you pass through the waters, I'll be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you. I could only lean on God in this time and realize that we are not promised anything in this life, but we can get acceptance from God through Jesus. understand even now why this needed to happen, but I trust that God has a plan for it and it's going to be beautiful and bring him glory. I'm able to stand before God boldly because of Jesus, and that's all that matters in this life. I want to glorify God with all that I have because he has showered me with grace and love. I know in the end this will make sense and bring God more glory, but until then, I trust that no matter what happens with my eye later on in this life, that this is the best thing that could have ever happened to me. If you have any questions, I'd love to talk to you after midweek. Thank you.